What's up, everybody? Paul Carl here. Today we're going to talk about tools, and Archimedes here, the master of them. He said famously, "Give me a place to stand and I will move the earth." And I'm going to show you guys how we can all move the earth by having a mastery of our tools, specifically Kronocard. Now, I'm always glazing Kronocard about how even though this whole UI here is horrific and terrible and bad, this UI here is amazing. And what you can do here, I scanned these in, I ran them through the AI. This is the default. Let's pretend we're going to check every single one of these things. The first thing that we need to learn are the hotkeys. That's important. And this is F5 on your keyboard. F5 rotates. It corresponds with this arrow here. And look, it even tells you when you highlight F5 and F6 rotate left and right. And then for the back, F7 and F8 to rotate the other ways. I'm going to keep mine rotated this way so they're all the same orientation. Those are important. If you're the type of person who likes to have their things rotated, you can rotate that way. F5 through F8. Boom, 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 boom. All right. This is Paul from the future coming back to let you know you can also rotate in bulk. So if I click on status or I, control shift down and click on or hit the hotkey to rotate, it will ask if you want to apply it to all the selected cards, and then you can click it or you can hit enter because it says yes by default. So now when I click through, you can see they're all oriented the proper way. And I'm going to just select them all. I like to have mine be the same orientation. So like if the front's vertical, the back's going to be vertical too. That's just how I personally like it. Now, this is the spreadsheet view here. You can click around. When you click the headers here, you can select things in bulk. This is great for when you want to apply things to everything. So for example, these are not my cards. I'm consigning these for Chuck. So I just type Chuck in here. And what I can do now is highlight the cell, hold down the control button, press C. Ctrl+c is copy, ctrl+v is paste. So when I select this whole column here, I can now press ctrl+v and every single one of those is filled. The other thing that you can do when you're selecting these different columns, maybe you don't want to select all of them like this. Maybe you only want to select from card number 5 and down. Now for this, you can hold Ctrl+shift and then use the arrow keys, and that will highlight up all of them above or all of them below. Control up, Ctrl+shift up, Ctrl+shift down, and you can even do Ctrl+shift right and Ctrl+shift left. This helps you select cells quickly. And then you can also navigate with the arrow keys. You actually can do all your Kronocard work without ever touching the mouse, which is crucial if you want to be as quick as possible. The other thing you can do here is if I select this, I can right click the year. All right, they're all 1986. But let's say the AI got one of them wrong and one of them is 1988. In Kronocard, when you hover over a thing and you right click, you can see all of the options here are based on what is present in this column or row. And these are all 1986, so I'm just going to set them all 1986. And let's see, is this all top super? This is all top super, but if this was that, now you can see that is an option. I can change all of them to that. The one thing you can't do is Ctrl+z. So I can't undo that. Ctrl+z is undo. So I'm going to type in top super. That is Ctrl+z. If that worked in here, that would be amazing. And what you just saw me do there very quickly was I typed in top super, copy, select the whole column, paste. I could also have, like if I delete the column by pressing delete key, what I could also do is type in tops super. And you see these power fill things here. Top super is all I want. I don't want any of this crap. If you hit tab, it will autofill whatever is highlighted. But if you hit escape, it gets rid of it. So you can start typing and get those little things. If you hit escape, then you can press tab to move on to the next thing. Those are actually really nice. So when you're in a cell and you press tab, it moves over to the next cell. If you're on a cell and you press enter, it goes down. Those are really useful so you don't have to navigate with the arrow keys all the time. And now here I'm going to show you, so I got top super. I don't want to touch the mouse to click the product header, so I'm going to do Ctrl+C, Control Shift down arrow. Now I have all of them selected. Control V. And now I'll tab to go over the next cell. And I want to go to the top now. So I'm going to highlight all and go to the top. That's a trick here. So when I do Control Shift up, that you can see the little dotted lines here, hopefully, around the set. That means that that's my active cell. Even though they're all highlighted, this top one's the active one. So when I hit the right arrow, it goes right. So if I want to get all the way to the bottom, I can do the Control Shift down and then make my active cell that bottom one and move to the right. These types of hotkeys are going to make you go extraordinarily fast when you're checking AI or when you're just doing data entry type stuff. I'm going to list all of these as a lot, but I'm going to check all of the AI to show you guys how quick this can work. So this is the Royals. Kronocard will start to fill here, and it's actually useful when you're doing like a team because there's a lot fewer teams than products, so you can get that a lot quicker. And what I like to do is just kind of glance at the number and make sure the numbers and everything match. So I'm just looking, I don't know how good my face shows up, but I just kind of look up to the right at the, okay, don't look at my hands. I'm going to give up on that. So I look up at what it is and I kind of look back down to what the highlighted cell is. So I can go like this and kind of check quickly. And I see that this is the wrong card number. So I'm just going to do 7. I'm going to hit enter. Takes me down to the next one. And you can keep hitting enter to go down, or you can use the arrow keys. I tend to use the arrow keys when I'm doing this because I'm more comfortable doing that with how I rest my hand. This is incorrect, so I'm going to do 3. Jim Rice. This is number 42, and so I typed in 42 and then I hit tab. So that takes me over here. Now I'm just going to type over it Tim Raines, and I typed it wrong. And this is just the expos, so we'll do that. Oh, another trick I want to show you. Let's pretend that this was, we need to add something onto it. Let's go all the way back up to the top. So I'm going to say tops. So let's pretend this is all tops. We know it's top super. So what I can do here, without having to click the mouse, you can just start typing tops and fix it and start going from there. But since we know that this is top super, we're already going to use the word tops. We can use the F2 hotkey. And you see what happened there? When I press F2, it brings my cursor to the end of the text box there. So when I hit F2, I can do space, add in super, and I don't want super box, so I hit escape here. Now I got my top super. And once again, ctrl+c to copy, ctrl+shift down, ctrl+v. That gets all my stuff in there. And oh, I forgot to mention. So all right, yeah, just control down takes you to the bottom also, and control up also takes you to the top. Forgot about that. But the other thing I wanted to show you is if you just hold shift without control, you can select multiple boxes without selecting all of them. So if I just wanted to select these 3, let's say, or these 4, I can just hold shift and then use all my fancy tricks to go left and right. When you do control, it goes all the way to whatever direction you push. When you don't hold control, it just does one at a time. So like if I wanted to select all these, but I only need to here, let's say, you can customize your selection with those hotkeys. All right, so let's see. We were at Tim Raines, so let's continue through this. Oh, we got Dave Parker. This is 41, and this is easy enough. This is just changing card numbers. Nothing else has been wrong. 39, 37, 36, 33. All right, here's the wrong one. 32, 27, and this is Dodgers. And you can also use the arrow keys here. So instead of trying to type Guerrero, you can use the arrow keys and navigate specifically to the autofill that you want. I'm trying to really think about all the tricks so that I can put them together in this video for you guys. Those are the key ones though, like control shift, arrow keys. Oops. Hey, look, there's my mouse. Ctrl+shift+arrow keys, ctrl+c, ctrl+v. I'll have to overlay some cheat sheet things to this in editing. But yeah, this is all looking pretty good. This is number 5, and then we need royals here. And after I typed in that 5, you can actually just go left and right. You don't have to hit tab. I often will hit tab, but in that circumstance I did the arrow key. The thing about using these hotkeys is it makes you so much faster at everything you do. And there's hotkeys for like all kinds of software. You can use tools like Fastkeys to create your own hotkeys and scripts to do all sorts of stuff. Like if you're in Excel, if you're in eBay, in your browser. We're going to talk about the browser after Kronocard because these are important things to know. Just some of the most common ones that I use I'm going to share. So that's how you do the Kronocard stuff. So what I'm doing here now, this is going to be a lot. I don't know what I'm going to price it at, but what I'm going to do now is up here in this sidebar, this has like all the same data as in the spreadsheet here. But one of the things that this has that the spreadsheet doesn't have is this search card on eBay button. And when I click that, it's gonna, apologies for my my 5-month-old. But it pulls up you can set it to all kinds of things. And let me show you that. So I have it search on eBay. You can have, all these different categories, whether sold comps versus not sold. You can just search it wherever. I'm doing eBay because I like to see both the actives and the sold. So it's like this card's like a $3 card. Let's see what it sells for. Yep, right around there. So we're going to do top super lot because I'm going to sell this as a lot using Card Cobra. And I'll show you what we do for that. It looks like, I don't know, maybe I get $2 a card. That seems reasonable, right? And there's 38 cards. So what's that? 60, 76. That seems high. 76. So what I'm going to do, since 76 seems expensive, it seems a little too high, I want to see what the complete set. So 60 of them sold for 20. All right, so 70 is probably not going to happen. And let's see, complete set of 60. Yeah, so all right, instead of asking $79.99, I'm going to do $19.99 and just see what happens. So there's that. For Card Cobra specifically, when you're listing a lot, if you want to be a buy it now, you put the price in the sale price column. If you want to be an auction, you put the price, what the starting bid will be, in the auction column. That's all you really need to know for lots. The other thing that you should know actually is that, but if you're using one of these like player lots, team lots, or set lots, or singles, it's going to generate the title based on the data in Kronocard. So for singles, you're going to want every single card to be perfect so that you get the perfect listing for each single, just like you would if you were listing through Kronocard by itself. For lots, the data that it uses for the titles is going to be pulled from the first card. So that's the one that's the most important to get correct. All the other cards, if there's a mistake, it's not a big deal. It does use data from the other cards to complete all of the item specifics, because some item specifics you can have multiple values in. Like player, for example, you can have up to 25 players tagged in the player item specific. So Card Cobra will use the first 25 cards, or if it's a 6-card lot, it'll use all 6 cards to fill in that player data. I try to make the first card the best card, so that way the title can be the best possible title. And then, of course, if you select a rookie card, it will put rookie in the title. And then for singles, if you do like rookie auto and then put patch here for memorabilia, that will put like RPA, for example, in the title. So you get all those extra keywords. So that's everything that I think needs to be explained about Kronocard. Let's move on to the browser now. So I want to show you guys some browser tricks. So we're on ComC. I want to buy some cards. I want to buy a set or whatever. I don't need these tabs anymore. Or let's say maybe I do need these tabs. I'm going to open up, I want to buy all these cards that are under 10 cents up from this set. All right, so I found a bunch that are under 10 cents. One thing I want to add here is when I'm opening these new tabs, I'm clicking the middle mouse wheel button. So if you click that down on a link, you can open in a new tab without having to right click and click on open a new tab. That's a really nice shortcut from your mouse, just pushing that middle button to open a link in a new tab. So I got all my tabs open. I don't need this tab anymore, so I'm going to use Ctrl and W. That closes the tab. And let's say I shouldn't have closed that tab. I'm not going to do Ctrl+W. I'm going to do ctrl+shift+t. That reopens the tab that I just closed. Ctrl+W closes it. Ctrl+t opens a new tab, so I can immediately start typing stuff that I want to look up, like I don't know. I want to look up Terry Bradshaw stats. I could just start typing, and you don't have to do it. I don't care, so I'm closing it. All right, now we're back to this one, and I want to just buy a bunch of these cards. So I'm going to just add all the cards that are under 10 cents to my cart, and Ctrl+W to close it. Looks like someone beat me to this one. Ctrl+W. I'll get these ones. Ctrl+W. And this just makes adding to your cart or doing whatever a lot easier if you're buying stuff on ComC. And then let's say, oh, whoops, there was a couple I wanted to add these ones to my cart. Ctrl+shift+t. Once again, that opens that back up. This is a really useful trick for quickly adding things to your cart. So I got 17 cards. It's under $1.70. That means they're all under 10 cents. So I'll go ahead and buy these. So that's that trick. Ctrl+T, Ctrl+shift+T, and Ctrl+W. Those are the most important hotkeys for navigating your browser. And you can do stuff with fast keys. I'll put a link to the video in the description to show some more automations, like in-depth things that you can put on your phone, free tools that you can use on your computer. It's all really useful stuff. Apologies for the mess and the bad lighting, but I want to talk a little bit more about this and the reason why this is important. And I know a lot of people have said that I go too fast when I'm doing these things, so I really tried to slow down and tried to cover everything that I did, and hopefully I was close to doing that. The thing is, it's like if you're driving a car and you're trying to explain every single movement that you make while you drive the car, it's like it feels impossible. It feels like an impossible thing to do because you're just driving the car, you know what you're doing. And I think that's the same way that we need to feel about our tools. And in this game, in most games of business, your tool is the computer. And the mastery that you have over your computer gives you an extra layer of mastery over whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish with it. And one of the things I did when I was a kid was I used to play StarCraft Brood War. It's a game that came out in like 1998 or whatever. It's a real-time strategy game. So kind of like chess and poker, but there's no taking turns. You just do as much stuff as you can as quickly as you can to try and beat the other guy. And what I learned in StarCraft was the faster you can do things in the game, the easier you can beat people. And that was important to me because I played in tournaments. I won some money doing it, all that fun stuff. And yeah, the hotkeys are how you get what's called your APM, your actions per minute, higher. And you want to have a high APM so that you can be a more effective player of the game. And that concept really doesn't just apply to games. It applies to anything in work. The higher your APM is, whether you're, chopping wood or selling cards on eBay, the higher your APM, the faster you can do it, the more money you can make for your time. The best part about learning all these hotkeys for software or creating your own hotkeys and like getting used to using them is these small improvements really compound over time, like compound interest. You save a couple seconds here or there and you compound that over, a 30, 40, 50 year career. That's like hours, days, months. It's tons of time that you can save. And even something as simple as when I was talking about, tops, I don't want to retype the word tops. I'd rather just hit F2 and just type in super. It saves 4 keystrokes. That's not a big deal. But you save 4 keystrokes 1,000 times. That's like real time that you're saving. This mode of thinking is, you know, what I apply with like my shipping video. You know, oh, I'm gonna move my tape dispenser, you know, 3 inches to the left, so that way I don't have to extend my arm fully to reach it. I can just reach it by just like barely going over. It reduces the movement, so I can just do this now. Well, let's pretend I can just do this movement now instead of this movement. You know, I feel kind of ridiculous showing this, but these little things, they all really add up in aggregate, especially if you're a one-man show. And even if you have employees, like teaching them and empowering them to come up with their own ways to save these seconds can really turn into like a fun game and make things more interesting and more effective in the workplace, and give you time to do other stuff, other more important stuff. Paul Akers is a really good resource on this. He runs a company called FastCap, and he's like over the top into this lean manufacturing or like lean philosophy. Highly recommend his channel if you want to get more into like nerdy details like that and see somebody doing this at like the supreme level, because my office is just a mess. Someday I will get it cleaned again. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful. Let me know what you think if you want to see more like this. I am thinking I should do similar videos like this for how to use Card Cobra with Kronocard, so that's something that will be coming out at some point.